Hey everyone, welcome back to the garage. This is going to be very exciting. What we are doing today, hopefully all in one video, is going to be installing the entire wiring harness. Now, I know, people are going to say, hey, but you have the engine running. Yes, the engine wiring harness, that's a completely separate deal. This is the chassis wiring harness. This is going to be so much fun. Awesome. Looking forward to it. So let's take a look at what we got. Okay, first up, those are the front fog lights or driving lights that go in that 69 Camaro style front valance. Those are Digitail's conversion. Those are white lights or yellow lights, and you can make them be flashers or road lights or whatever you want. So I can do all that. Miscellaneous parts for the switches, like the ignition switch and that kind of stuff. We have here, this is the ignition switch. That is the headlight switch, windshield wiper switch, and high-low beam switch. And those are Digitail's LED conversions for the taillights. We'll get to that in a moment. These are all the wires I need, all the appropriate colors. I made sure that I've be color matching everything all beautifully. Those are the wires I need to hook the air conditioning system and the engine wiring harness into the chassis wiring harness. This is a Deutsch connector kit. This is going to make for some really slick connections to all the electrical. This is the American Auto Wire RS headlight wiring harness. Those are taillight housings. These are the surrounds. Check that out, carbon fiber. The only fake carbon fiber on the entire car is these. These are factory surrounds that I sandblasted, and then they did some body work on them and covered them in fake carbon fiber wrap. Those are the gaskets we need for that. New taillight lenses. I know Camaro guys are going to be like, oh, but you have RS headlights, hideaway headlights, but you have regular base Camaro taillights. Yes, that's because I didn't want the taillights, the backup lights in the rear valance. Didn't want that. These are switches. This is for the hideaway headlights. Those are for that. These are more connectors for that. And this is the American Auto Wire wiring harness. On the Suburban, we used painless wiring harness. It was really good, but people say the American Auto Wire one is even better. I know it's a very heavy box, so maybe there's more copper in there, but this is more substantial than the Suburban one, even though it should be all the same kind of stuff, right? Like, this car isn't really any more complicated than that Suburban was. But anyways, and finally, we have a 67 Camaro factory assembly instruction manual. So this shows you how one of these cars is assembled, and it should have the routing of all the wiring harnesses and all that stuff too. So I think with that, let the fun begin. Okay, I've unpacked the American Auto Wire kit, and wow, it's very impressive how they've broken everything down. Like here, console kit, vehicle speed sensor lead wires, we have instrument cluster, courtesy light kit, engine kit, parking light connection kit, front light kit, rear body kit, alternator and main power connection kit, won't be using that, and the dash kit. Now, this I'm a little disappointed at, though. Look at this. Headlight switch. It comes with a headlight switch. I bought one. It's right there. Okay, I didn't need to. Wasted money. Dimmer switch. Did not need to buy that. Turns out there's one in this kit. Ignition switch. Also, I have an ignition switch. It's even got keys. Where are the keys? They're here somewhere. Oh, here they are. Look, it even has keys. I bought all this. I didn't need to. Okay, well, whatever. Whatever. Guess I'll be putting some stuff for sale on Facebook Marketplace. Anyways, all right. The kit looks really nice. Not disappointed with that. I just wish I had known that it came with these switches, but oh well, whatever. Okay, first thing we got to do is read the instructions, because what did we learn in a previous video? Always read the instructions. Okay, so start here, big letters, nice. Okay, reading through these, that's all good, that's all good. Disconnect battery, okay, yep. Start installing kit, look at that. Step 2, start installing kit. And everything is broken down into letters, starting with G, because I guess A, B, C, D, E, F can just fuck off. Starting with G, which is dash kit. All right, so that is all this stuff. And I just took a quick look through here, and oh, let me show you what's on the back side of this instructions. Look at this beautiful wiring harness. It's so much nicer than those little dinky wiring harnesses that you see online in pictures and stuff. This one's very nice. Very well labeled, very good. And on the back side, this is all very good. Okay, something I noticed already is that they want me to cut the hole in the firewall bigger because this is a 67. This is kind of rude. Here I left that hole because I was going to use a wiring harness designed for a 67. It's that hole right there. So now I have to cut it bigger because the American Auto Wire kit is meant for 68 and later firewalls, which has a bigger hole. So I got to use this template to make a bigger hole. But you can see right beside that hole is my MSD or Holly or whatever that power block is. So that has to be moved. Typical custom car life, you know, when you start modifying things, then it all just goes to shit. Okay, so yeah, so I already see a problem developing with that, but let's see. Hopefully it's not gonna be too bad. So we'll pull this out of here and get a look. Top tip, if you use thicker than factory metal on your firewall, do not use these screws. Actually, you can use the screws that come with the American Auto Wire kit, but you got to drill the hole bigger. They call for a 1/8 inch hole, and this screw here, this one went through the stock firewall, no problemo, but the one screw is going through a metal plate that I put there that's a little thicker than the factory one. So the 1/8 hole that I drilled in it, we had problemo. So I gotta drill a hole a little bigger, and I gotta try to track down these super long screws somewhere. I don't have any of these. I'm gonna have to go somewhere. Okay, we have our fuse box all in and attached, and that's all good. It runs all the wires run up using the factory straps for holding and everything in place. So the next step is this big, according to the instructions anyways, is to find a home for all these wires here. Now, I'm gonna read off what these are for. This blue one is for fuel pump. And then the orange one is for power seats. The red one is for power door locks. The pink one is for cruise control. The yellow one is for power windows. And the tan one is just an accessory feed. So guess what? All I need out of this whole bundle is the blue one for the fuel pump. Oh, actually, you know what? I can run the air conditioning off of the tan one. Yeah, okay, so the tan one will be air conditioning and the blue one is going to be fuel pump. So this is my line for my fuel pump. So they give you these little ends, and you crimp the ends on there, and it tells you the instructions to solder it. So it's crimped and soldered. And now I just gotta make sure that I put this in the right one, the blue one. see. I think it goes like this. It should just clip into there. Just like that. And then it goes in just like so. Yeah. All right, so yeah, and I'm just gonna do the same thing with the air conditioning onto the tan one, and then I'll move on to the next bundle. All right, I have the accessories done and dusted. It wasn't too bad at all. It was the wire for the air conditioning and the wire for the fuel pump. And I used my electrical tester to check if there was any resistance in the connection, like if it was connected properly, and it's 100%. So next up is H, because that last one was G. So next up is H, which is instrument cluster. So as of this date, I don't know, it's the 25th of November. I do not have my instrument cluster yet, but it is sitting at the border. So I'm going to go down there and pick that up in the next few days, and then I'll be able to get to that. But in the order of the connections, instrument cluster, this is the next one up. So I guess I'll have to figure out what these all are, and that's all going to be here in the instructions. It's all pretty straightforward. All the connectors, like this one, let's see, get this in the camera. Like this one, it just matches up with this other one, and you just snap it together, and it's a done deal. I zip tied this little bundle together because I'm not sure how much of this I'm going to be using with the Dakota digital gauges. This in the instructions is shown as the lights for the instrument cluster, the lights with a ground, and we got a 12 volt. So when I get my Dakota digital gauges, then these will come into play. But in the meantime, those are just going to go there, out of the way. And again, this one, just got to find where it plugs in. Oh, here we are. Yeah. Turns out these ones here are all for vehicle speed sensor. We got vehicle speed sensor ground and power and signal and all that. And as far as I know, my Dakota digital gauges, the speedometer is going to be triggered through the computer from the vehicle speed sensor that's on the transmission of the car. So for now, why have these in the car? So I'm going to unplug these. So that last connector was also a number of wires that I may or may not use once I get the Dakota digital dash. So what I did was I took the remaining wiring harnesses and connectors and the instructions, and I put them in a Ziploc bag, and I'll put that aside, and we'll see how that's going to play out later. And after H comes I, but American Auto Wire doesn't use I. They go right to J, because, you know, you're going to get rid of A, B, C, D, E, F. May as well get rid of I as well. So we're going straight to J, which is engine. This is the engine compartment stuff. I don't have a lot of faith that there's gonna be a lot of wires used from this, because again, we got an LS swap, right? And this is for rewiring a stock 67 Camaro. So let's take a look at our instructions sheet here and see what goes where, because I may not be using any of this. Because I already have a running engine that doesn't use any of that. So let's take a look, see. Bulkhead connector, okay. Oh, it recommends apply silicone sealant. Well, that's I think where that dielectric grease comes into play, but whatever. Oil pressure sending unit, nope. Heater blower, nope. Temperature sending unit, nope. Battery location on coil, nope. TAC location on coil, nope. Electric choke, nope. HEI distributor, nope. Okay, so there's lots of stuff here I will not be using, and that's fine, that's fine. It's all really well plotted out with nice little pictures and everything. And it makes it pretty clear. It also has instructions on the back. This is, so far, I would say this is a better kit than the painless wiring kit. This has way more detail to it. Like, look at this. Like, full color pictures of where wires are supposed to go. They did not have that on the painless wiring harness. Okay. So, a lot of these are going to land up being clipped, because why would I just have these wires dangling? All right, so let's get going. Also part of this engine wiring harness, the engine side wiring harness, is the front headlight wiring harness. This I will definitely need because I am gonna have front headlights. And it actually, these two halves, they just snap together and they're locked in place. And it's telling me to put silicone in here on these wires, and maybe you wanna do this on your car. I don't know if I want to do this sloppy, what it's going to look like. Maybe I'll do something. Anyways, regardless. Now I attach this to the front and we'll start running the wires where we need them. I am removing any unnecessary wires from the wiring harness, because why would I have extra wires in there? I mean, I'm never going to go back to like a old school GM motor in this thing, right? So taking out all the extra wires. So this is alternator ignition. It says alternator ignition. I don't need this wire. So if you look at the that end, it clips into the connector and then it's held in place by this. So you go in with a needle nose pliers like so, and just give that a little squeeze, and then you can pop it out of there. All right, so let's see. We got another one here we did not need. Oil pressure sender. Let me change the camera angle down here a little bit. I do not need an oil pressure sender wire because that's all taken care of through the computer. So it's this blue one, this little blue one, and it is right there. So I'm just gonna go in, give it a little squeeze. And out it comes. So I've done that. I got quite a pile of wires on the floor here that I am not using. So I'm just gonna go through here and get rid of all the ones that I don't need. And what I have decided to do about, it says putting the silicone in there, is I got some black silicone. And I'm going to use a screwdriver. It's like a flat head screwdriver. And I'm going to very carefully put black silicone in each one of these wires so that it's going to look good. Like when you're looking at it, you're just not going to see globs of silicone on the wires. So, because we have quite a few empty slots now. You can see in the back side, there's quite a few empty slots that you can just see air, or you can see daylight through them. So that is a possible place for water to get in and corrode things, so I don't want that. So on this side I'm going to put the black silicone, let that set, and on this side I'm going to put dielectric grease on this side, so that when I plug it all in, it'll all be sealed up really good. So that's what I'm going to do. I've added dielectric grease to this side here. That side's been silicone shut, so I just got to bolt it on here now. And done. After 4 hours of wiring, I had to stop because I needed some covering for the wire. So after I got inside and I edited it all, I realized that I have a 19 or 20 minute video. And so I clearly am not going to do this all in one video. So that's the end of part 1 of wiring the car, and I hope you enjoyed it, and look forward to part 2.